What's up, peeps? Today I'm painting my Ikea dressers, faux finishing the tops to look like hickory, and getting one step closer to cave life in my main bedroom. If you were here last week, then you learned why Mr. CCDIY and I want to live in a cave. And you saw me get these started. If you didn't catch part 1 of our bedroom makeover, I'll link to it in the description and at the end of this video. But for those of you ready to see what I do with these dressers, I'm Jen. Welcome back to Copper Cactus DIY. Let's get started. Step 1, get everything off the top and out of the dresser drawers. I took off all the hardware, which was pretty easy. I just needed a Phillips head screwdriver and a little bit of elbow grease. These dressers didn't come with hardware originally. When I first refinished them about 5 or so years ago, I actually added the pulls. And I'm planning to reuse these once everything is done, but I will give them a light cleaning first. I vacuumed out all the dust bunnies from underneath and inside, including inside the drawers. Then it was time to get cleaning. I use Palmolive dish soap, which does a great job degreasing. And I had a good bit of yuck to remove from my dresser, what with like hairspray and makeup and other beauty product residue all over the surface. Once I scrubbed, I removed the soap with a clean rag and some warm water. Then, when everything dried about 11 seconds later, I could get going with scuff sanding. Dressers from Ikea aren't necessarily bad, but these aren't made with the best quality materials. Since they're particle board with a vinyl thermofoil sticker, I'm honestly surprised they held up this well over the past 15 plus years. We aren't hard on our furniture or anything like that, but they've survived multiple moves, including one across the country, and constant daily use. Not bad. And because I did this finish, I know that it's 2 coats of dead flat varnish that need no more than a scuff sanding. I used 180 grit and my random orbital to get a good tooth for the paint. I used a clean rag and warm water to wipe down all the sanding dust, then I left them to dry again while I started on the paint. I'm using Faux Effects Set Coat, which is a highly pigmented bonding coat made specifically for faux finishes. This will be my base for the wood graining that I'm going to do. I chose this color because it has a slightly peachy undertone, and that's going to help to really bring out those tones in the hickory. While this dried, I could mix up the paint for the rest of the dresser's surfaces. Unfortunately, this is all I have to show you of the paint mix because I totally forgot to hit record. I'm using Salamander by Benjamin Moore and BB Frosch paint additive. But if you want to see me mix BB Frosch into latex for the first time and test it out, you can actually check out my full bed makeover video, which is sort of part 1 of my bedroom makeover series, so I will link that down in the description. To give the top a bit more time to dry, I started with the drawer faces. I was super psyched that these are totally flat. It made my job a whole heck of a lot easier. What didn't make my job easier? Not priming first. Don't ask me why, but I completely flaked on getting a gray or another dark color down before jumping in with the green. Fortunately, I had enough paint to cover everything. Unfortunately though, it took 3 coats to get full coverage. I used this low nap roller because it usually leaves a really smooth finish, and this time was no exception. Plus, the drawer faces extend beyond the drawer, so I could roll on everything, including the edges. Score! Even if it looks like AstroTurf to start, I knew that it would actually work out in the end. For the boxes, I taped off underneath the top edge for the faux base color, but I didn't want to just sit around not painting these until coat 2 went on the top though. So I started a bit below that top edge and just made sure to flick and feather the green anywhere that I got near the top. I used a brush for all of the face on the first coat. And after I finished this, the top was actually dry enough to add the final coat, but I did that off camera. And while I'm painting this box, please allow me to take a second to thank a couple of amazing people. First, Sarah over at 445 Designs. Thank you so much for the super sweet shout out last week in your video. I am so psyched that you got inspired to try faux wood grain. And also, I need to shout out Taryn over at Elegant Upgrades for being the sweetest and buying me a coffee. You ladies seriously rock. Thank you so much. With the tape pulled, I could get the last of coat 1 of the green completely finished. I cut in with a brush and I rolled the rest. And that's where I wrapped up day 1. Actually, that's where I wrapped on the dressers, but like I said, this project is part of our total bedroom makeover, so I got painting in the area where the dressers live. I'm using Evergreen Fog, the color of the year from Sherwin-Williams, and I'm fully in love with this color. If you saw last week's video, then you already saw me do this, so I'm not going to hang around too long. But once I got this first coat on, that's where I did wrap up for the day. In the morning, I started by getting the second coat on everything that's green, and I did it the same way as before, using the roller and the brush as needed. Then it was finally time to get into the faux wood grain. Like I said, I'm using hickory as my inspo for these dressers, but I'm kinda doing my own thing between the two. If you'd be interested in seeing me do this faux finish in real time, I actually have about 45 minutes of footage that I could share, and I could give you some more in-depth detail on each of the steps. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know if that's something that you'd be into learning. But for now, I'm just going to let you watch this fun time lapse of me doing this hickory faux on the other dresser. And I wrapped up day 2 by painting a second and final coat on the walls where the dressers live. I'll share more on this, painting the ceiling, and even painting the closet doors in part 2 of our bedroom makeover in a couple of weeks. Don't forget to subscribe now, that way you're not gonna miss it. The final step for the faux was to add an overglaze, which is sometimes called a toning glaze. This will help to blend in all of the different shades. Plus, it adds depth and it adds to the realistic feel of the faux. I finished both dressers and I let them fully dry overnight. In the morning, I got to top coat, and I used Varathane's satin top coat over the faux wood grain. I brushed on 2 coats, leaving it to dry for a few hours in between each coat. And I'm using satin to enhance the depth in the finish. Plus, it'll be much easier to keep clean, especially on my side of things. But I did the second coat off camera. And I did the same thing over all of the green paint, but instead of satin over the base and the drawers, I'm using General Finishes Flat Out Flat. While I attach the hardware, let me just say thanks so much for sticking it out to the end of this video. I'm truly happy with how these turned out, and I hope you love them as much as I do. Our bedroom is slowly turning into the wooded coastal cave that we've always wanted, and we are so excited about it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and then subscribe below if you're not already. Next week, I'm sharing with you my top 11 decorative painting tools for beginning finishers, so you aren't going to want to miss that. But let's get to those beauty shots now, huh? Thanks so much for watching. Later, peeps! Oh my God, the sniffing. I just can't. The allergies. Hello, didn't people come to Phoenix to kill their allergies? Nope. Not anymore. Basically, making it heavy enough. Hopefully I will. You want to talk about luck real quick? Okay, so this is actually the exact amount that I have left. After 3 coats, this is it. I mean, it's barely hanging on. But, yup. Not too bad on the old estimating, huh?